Yes, I am okay tonight, Mark, by the way. I only just got your message. Yeah.
I was fast asleep. Fucking just lucky, I guess. I woke up. I had a hard day racing. Like I said, I had a lot of laps today. I was fast asleep. Didn't even hear the phone. I actually, when I woke up, I took the phone out of my pocket to see if you'd sent me a message, like on an email, with all the info, like you said you were going to. And that's when I saw the flashing light. That's when I saw you'd actually rung me twice. Wait, oh shit.
We got any idea on fuel and crap like that? All right. I'm gonna jump in and annoy SRM for a sec. I'll be back in a sec. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Checkered Flag e-streaming here for the Australian Stock Car Championship. We are here for round number 6 of the Summer Truck Series for the Lucas Oil Truck Series here at Dover. Joining me up here at the booth is Mr. Brad Allison. Brad, how you going, mate?
Going good, Carl. How are you? And Happy New Year to you.
Hey, happy new year to yourself. Indeed it is. It's 2023. We are very much in the new year, and well, first major broadcast of that new year is kicking off now, and well, Monster Mile is always a good one to have.
Carl, I've been looking forward to this all year. So, yeah, it'll be a great show tonight from you guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. And of course, we have Mr. Mark Johansson on the cameras and doing all the work in the background. Mark, how are you going, mate?
Yeah, good, Carl. Welcome, Brad, and yeah, another exciting round, I would say, for the Lucas Oils trucks. A few big names in here tonight, so yeah, it could be interesting.
That is it. A lot of names in the series, which is great to see. Of course, we have the championship going on. Currently leading the championship is Mr. Jamie Nankervis. He has got the lead of the championship at the moment over Ruben Phelps with 7 points at the moment. Third place is Mr. Matty Ray. He's going to be looking to carry on his little successful start to the new year in the Australian Stock Car Championship with his little win in the test run we had last night. He is 28 points back. 21 points behind Ruben Phelps. Then you have Lachlan Urquio in joint third place, as well as Will Jesberg. So quite a few drivers looking to make some steps in the championship now. So quite a few opportunities to be had here, but it is not the easiest track to run on, is it, Brad?
No, it's not, Carl. It'll be very easy to get boys to get loose and up into that wall on the outside. It's not going to be their friend. It's really hard to get back hold of once you lose control.
Is indeed. So qualifying is kicking off now, so we'll keep our eyes out and jump on a couple of trucks as they head out for their qualifying runs. What are some of the big things to look out here, Brad?
It's a unique track. There's only two like it where it's absolutely cement the whole way round. There's no tar or anything else. So the heat isn't going to affect it as much like it does the tar. The concrete tends to hold. It's temperature a lot more, a lot even, but it'll be very, very fast on fresh tyres. They'll set a blistering pace here in the qualifying.
Very much so, and track temperature 41 degrees out there at the moment, so it's a nice warm little track, not too bad on the air temperature of only 20 degrees, but that will be the wear will be the defining factor of this race. We're sort of expecting a two-stop race for sure, but of course cautions, as you said, it's very easy to make a mistake here, and cautions could be the big thing that draws out draws the drivers into pit lane.
Yeah, well, they've got, four tyre changes, so 5 sets of tyres for the race, 90 laps. So every chance they get, once they've got a few laps on those tyres, it'll make a huge difference to if they get a yellow flag to get some fresh good years on that trucks.
Absolutely, and we've got a few trucks out there at the moment. We're looking at the 005 at the moment, just getting around to set some qualifying laps. Andrew Dyson currently on pole, with Lachlan Urquio just jumping up into second place. Third place, Heath Partlet, with Aidan Schultz fourth. Toby Stent sitting in fifth. So a few new names lurking up towards the top, which is nice. Quite a big field here tonight of 30 trucks, looks like. 30 to 29 trucks going to be out there. So that is going to be an enormous amount of trucks on the track at the same time.
Yeah, a really quality field. Like, very good to see. Great, like always. New season, new year. A lot of drivers turn out. Slowly they drop off, but it's really good and always fresh to see great new drivers that start with.
Very much so. It's what we love to see in the sport, and we love it when some of the new drivers absolutely work their way up there. But at the moment, it is one of the old guard. The 98 Stevie Dub up in second place at the moment behind Andrew Dyson. So that is a good start to the season for DPR at the moment. A few people still looking to get some laps out there as well. A few people sitting in pit lane as well, just waiting to see what happens and possibly looking to start towards the back of the field.
Yeah, for sure, Carl. Look, there's one driver out there, Heath Partlet. I don't know much about Heath Partlet. I'll have to do some research on him. I think all the other names out there will be familiar to regular viewers, but Heath Partlet, I don't know.
Yeah, a couple of names that I haven't seen for a long time, a couple of names that I sort of don't recognise straight off the top of my head, but I know I've seen a couple of times through the years, and nice to see some new returning faces, new and returning faces, I should say.
It's good to see the older guys coming back, the old drivers coming back, not old in years, but old as in being in the league for a while. Always great to see fresh new blood coming in.
It is always nice to see, and always useful to have as well. So, as we got 1 minute 30 seconds left, we got some news from the the big series, of course, the Cup series. Mark, I believe you had a little bit of news on the entries for that one. Oh, prod Mark again, see if he's alive.
Don't you, Mark?
No, I've got it now. Oh, just lost me cursor for the mouse. Yeah, mate, we've actually topped 60 cars nominated for the start of the season. So we're definitely going to have a look at how we are going to get this sorted out for the start of the Cup season. We've got 10 teams nominated, so some big teams: DPR, SRM Australia, and Hydrolinks is a new team this year. Fantasia Racing, a great new team with some young blood there. So it's definitely looking and shaping up to be a big season for the Cup cars, starting in February, on the 25th of February.
Big news indeed. We are looking forward to that indeed. Exciting stuff. And of course, if you're wanting to catch some of that, make sure to subscribe to Checkered Flag eStream to catch all of the future content for the ASCC on there. So we look forward to seeing you then. And we look forward to this race tonight. That's the important thing. And Ruben Phelps has pipped Dyson for pole position. A very nice run from Ruben, and he's going to be wanting to get a good run in this race, of course, up there, battling it out for the championship positions. So, as the qualifying run ticks over, the trucks will start lining up on the grid shortly. So here we are. Front row is Ruben Phelps taking out pole position for SRM with Andrew Dyson on this outside. Second row, we have Stevie Dubb with Lachlan Urquio. Third row, we have Daniel Hederscheid with Aidan Schultz. Fourth row, Neil Pearson with Heath Partlet. Fifth row is Dylan O'Shea with Hamish Gallagher. Sixth row, we have Jasberg and Malone. Seventh row is Henderson and Stent. Ninth row. Oh, sorry. Eighth row, yes, Hederscheid and Clark. Ninth row, we have Turner and Mahir. 10th row is Smith and Savage. 11th row, we have Tompkins and Ariel. 12th row is Campbell and Curvis. 13th row is Jacobs, starting towards the back of the grid. There, we've got a few trucks that didn't qualify. They will jump into the race shortly. That's Dave Douglas, Jai Schultz, Maddie Ray, Jake Savington and Adam Tice. So they'll form up the back of the grid. But the front row is looking pretty spicy tonight. Phelps is going to want to get a good run. Will we be able to see Nan Curvis work his way and keep the lead in this championship? Starting down to 24th, that might be a tricky thing in the early stages, especially if there's a big accident, Brett.
What a blistering lap that was by Ruben. Congratulations, Ruben. Great pole position. Good way to start the 2023. And yeah, I'm sure Jamie will be trying to apply as much pressure a little bit later on as he can. Keep it clean to start with.
Exactly, and it's always the important thing on oval racing. You've just got to get through those first couple of laps. Just avoid any incidents. Hopefully we won't see the dreaded caution flag out tonight. It will be nice to see a green to green, but it is so easy to make a little mistake in those early stages, especially when you're battling side by side. Pace truck is out on the track now as we form up, ready for this round 6 of the championship. And here at Dover, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. We hope you're all ready for it.
I'm looking at David Nankervis' time there, and he's more than a second off Rubens, so I think Jamie was deliberately putting himself at the rear there. So I think he's playing his plan, and they're playing theirs.
Yeah, dragging the brake just a little bit more in the corners, just to qualify a bit further down and start a little bit further back. Not always a bad choice, of course.
No, if you think it's going to be a wreck, it's always good if you're at the back and you can avoid that first one, and then people will get the nerves out of the way and get back to racing properly. Here we go, Carl.
Pace truck is in. We are getting ready for that green flag to drop. It's going to be Phelps on the inside, Dyson on the outside. We are here. We are ready to go. And we are away. A good start for Phelps. Not so much for Dyson. Looks like he just got caught napping a tiny bit. One of these things we're not used to seeing from Dyson. He drops down low quite early on, though. Gets on that low line. Looks like he wants to be there from the start of this race.
Yeah, it looked like the rear end away from Dyson then on the outside, so we'll keep an eye on that and all the restarts. Obviously, the rudder will probably get a little bit better, but he definitely got the rear end loose trying to get onto that throttle.
That's it. Cold tyres early in the race, of course. You only get that little bit of a lap to get any temperature into them, and there's not much you can do in that. But we are underway. It's Phelps in the lead, Dyson second, Williams third, fourth is Heddershide, and fifth is Schultz. Looks like everybody's away cleanly. We've got a couple of green laps under our belt.
We can blame at least off there, which is great. It's good to see the guys get away cleanly, off to a good start for the year.
So it looks like Noddy's just had a little bit of a moment. I think it's just a software saying it, because it looks like he's just exiting pits, but we'll just jump back and double check that one. Just at exiting pit lane there. Looks like Noddy's decided to start from pit lane, so he's a lap down already. So he's just going to be looking to get a early lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. Just looking through times at the moment. Brenton Henderson in the middle of the pack, 14th. He's going great guns at the moment. Just really putting pressure on. We've got a good line of cars at the moment. Looks like everybody is pretty much looking at single file. A few trying to move it up, and we can see already Aiden Schultz in that very nice looking purple entry, just moving up underneath Stevie Dub.
Scary Carl side by side racing up there with those cold tyres, but he's doing a great job, Aiden is, for sure. Surrounded by teammates, of course. He'll be feeling the pressure also, though.
Absolutely. Oh, who was that getting a little bit wide? Daniel Heddershide just gets a little bit wide on the exit, manages to save it, but he has got two DPR cars looking to make move, as it looks like Nigel Pearson, sorry, there. I have trouble talking tonight. Neil Pearson moving up into sixth position, getting up past him, and a lot of DPR cars at the front of the field at the moment. That is good news for them.
Very, very strong team, as we all know, in all facets of motor racing. They're a very brilliant team.
Fastest lap, just chopping and changing, but interestingly, it's more in the mid-pack than up at the front at the moment. Mark Smith just pipping that fastest lap and getting a good run.
Yeah, well, they're side by side at the front, so they'll be going a little bit slower than people like Smithy, who's got some draft in front of him, and he'll be knocking off some good quick laps.
And if you can get a little bit of room, a little bit of clean air, you can absolutely make it work. And not much of a draft you get here, but if you get a little bit on the straight, you can take some advantage of it.
You can, for sure, Carl. You do notice it. I said, and even a bit of side drafting as well, a little bit there, coming on and off the corners. The whole track is only 1 mile long, exactly. It's exactly a mile surround, so what's that, 1.6 kilometres? So yeah, not a huge amount of draft.
No, not the biggest track we're going to go to in the year, but not the smallest either. But does make for fantastic racing, and the way it's laid out as well, it is a very fast track for a mile-long oval. It is one of the faster ones out there.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Is it 23 degrees, I think, in the corners, and 11 or 16 degrees in the straights? So there's a lot of banking right around the whole track, so it's very unique.
It's like driving a wall of death every lap, isn't it?
It is. I love it. It's a great track to race and drive on.
Just looking through the field. We've got a little bit of action a little bit further down. It is Jamie Nankervis battling with Corey Savage at the moment, and Dave Douglas there as well. Ooh, a little bit of a check-up in front of him there. Just jumps down and gets past. I think it was Mark Smith, maybe just got a little bit taily up into the wall. Managed to save it, but that woke Jamie up again, and Mark Smith just clipping the wall once again. And that's going to cause some damage to the front right of that truck.
We spoke about how fast Mark was going, and now he's paid the price. You know, those tyres do get hot, so he's lost a little bit of traction, just grazed a wall. It doesn't look like anything major.
Up at the front, Aidan Schultz has taken the lead of the race, up 5 positions, and just behind them is Hamish Gallagher. 7 positions gained so far. He is working his way up to the front as well. Ruben Phelps, the truck in the middle at the moment, but he is still keeping pace, just keeping on the back of Aidan Schultz. These 3 trucks have absolutely pulled out from Dyson, Partlet, Pearson, O'Shea, Heddershide and Urquio.
Did I see a little bit of smoke then come out of Aidan Schultz? Did he graze the wall, or did he touch the brakes or something?
Looks like he grazed the wall a little bit. Some little bit of a scratch on the right front of that truck. I reckon he just caught the wall by a little margin, and you can see that slowed him down enough for Ruben Phelps to get the run in the 0-6 and get up ahead at the moment.
Yeah, look who's coming up there. He's in third place, Hamish Gallagher. So I don't think it'll be too long before we see Hamish hit the lead for a little while. Hamish should be tired. Sorry there, Carl, didn't mean to cut you off. I drove a couple of hours today, raced with Hamish in another league race, so he'd be worn out already, I think, before he started.
Yeah, it's Hamish, though. He seems to have a boundless energy and lots of talent as well. He is one of those drivers that, when you're following him, you just go, how can you carry that much speed sometimes?
Absolutely, for lap after lap. And yeah, as I said, he's one of the best truck drivers I've come across. He's really helping me a lot with it, and I appreciate his help very much.
Very much so, and his skill in trucks and Xfinity is something to behold. Just looking down the field a little bit, we have the 005 on screen at the moment. Moving along nicely, and some good battles going on through the field. Just looking for biggest movers so far, and it is Dave Douglas in the number 10. He's worked his way up nicely up into 15th spot at the moment. Dicing it out with the 053 of Simon Heddershide at the moment.
There's another driver, the 005 that I don't know much of, Corey Savage. He's having a good run.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on the front of his truck, so obviously just had a little bit of a moment. Too easy to happen here, though. It just takes that slight little moment and up you go. Up at the front, though, Ruben Phelps has pulled out almost a 0.8 of a second, well, 0.9 of a second lead now. He is absolutely flying out the front, building a gap over Schultz and Gallagher. Looks like Schultz has just lost a little bit of speed in that truck, just struggling a tiny bit.
So we've got Hamish just now. Aiden's moved out and called Hamish through on a radio and told him he'd stay high and let him pass.
Keep an eye out for that Mitch Motorsport truck working its way up now towards Ruben Phelps. It's got a second to make, though. That is a fairly hefty gap here, and especially this early on. We're only 21 laps into this race.
Yeah, it's, the two Kiwis are certainly showing us how this track should be run.
So right now we've got the on-board camera here, and you get a real sense of what it's like. Brad, you can talk us through a little bit of driving on this track.
Yeah, we want to be up high here, and just before he's going to find a marker there on his right, he's going to duck down, get right down onto that line as close as he can, holding it there, drop down there on the exit and let it run up high towards the wall, go along. Again, overhead barrier as he comes up here will probably be his marker when to drop down there, through the corner, let it roll through a bit, down a little more as he throttles off.
Lots of little intricacies to get a lap of this place, and it's just hitting those marks every single lap really helps. And fastest truck on track at the moment is indeed this one that we're on board with, Hamish Gallagher.
Absolutely important to hit your mark lap after lap. One tiny error and you can lose a lot of time in no time. So yeah. There's a nice run there, looking at straight at Ruben's truck there from Hamish's nose cam.
And just jump down to Dave Douglas, who's on a bit of a charge at the moment, working his way now into P10, the number 10, up 16 positions. He seems to come alive now in this stage of the race.
Yeah, well, Dave, I don't think got to practice very much, did he? So it's, here we are getting used to the track now and getting warmed up and getting into a groove. So one would expect him to be better than he started.
Exactly. One of those drivers that he's very, very quick, and he loves having a bit of a fight as well, Dave, and he's going to be working his way up nicely. He's just catching up to the back of Adam Malone and Lachlan Creo next, so he'll be looking to get up to those trucks. Just looking at the front, Lachlan Creo just having a little bit of damage on the front of his truck as well, so obviously taking a little nibble off the wall, and you can afford a few at a place like this where it's not so aero sensitive, but eventually it's going to start causing damage to the old suspension parts, isn't it?
So it is Carl and Jamie Nankervis, and they rubbed some paint with the driver beside him. I'm not sure what driver it was beside him, but they were rubbing some paint, certainly.
Oh, well, it's NASCAR. You're rubbing his racing, son. Rubbing his racing.
Joe Schultz it was. I think those two had it coming together last week, I believe, as well. So there's obviously a little bit still going on there, being carried over from previous weeks.
These things tend to muster, don't they? They tend to build over the weeks, and coming into pit lane a little bit rough there. Lachlan Creo, we've got first cars coming in. Joe Schultz as well, pulling into pit lane. Lap 26 of the run. So we've got pit stops happening. Looks like the first couple are coming in a little bit early, getting themselves off kilter, get some fresh boots on, then try and take advantage of an undercut.
Yeah, they are a short pit in there, Carl. I think they could have got about 34, 35 laps out of the fuel supply tonight, which is half the normal level. So yeah, definitely deciding to short pit.
That is it, and I imagine we'll see the leaders looking at coming in relatively soon. I can't imagine they've got huge amounts left in the tank, but coming in too early can really, really hurt you if that caution flag falls.
That's exactly what they'll be holding their breath, those who short pitted, just praying that caution doesn't come out until the leader and everybody has pitted.
That's it, and as we know, sometimes when cars come out on cold boots, it's very easy to make that little mistake, and for those little things to happen, and a caution flag is more likely to fall around pit stops than any other time.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Carl. And cautions breed caution, but yeah, no, it's definitely getting off there, like you said, on those cold tyres, when you're used to a certain level of grip, and that first lap you virtually got none, but no, they're doing all right.
So, looking at the 52 at the moment, Adrian Schultz sitting back in third, just ahead of Andrew Dyson, Daniel Hederscheid there. So, you've got a good little run, and keeping an eye on the leaders now as well. Just wait to see who is the first to blink, who is going to come in first, and so much time you can gain coming into pit lane. Looks like Hamish Gallagher is making that call now. Gallagher's decided to pull the pin. He's coming in pit lane.
Yeah. There you go. So you see monkey do. So they've decided if the others are going to be out there, they want to try and gain some position. Hamish short pitting, trying to get a little bit on Ruben.
Much so, and as you said, the fresher tyre advantage can be huge at this place. So being on those fresh boots may make a big gain. As looks like a bit of a moment for Andrew Dyson. I think no, sorry, there was something that happened on replay there. I'll just go back to have a little look. Sorry, Brad.
Yeah, well, with the sets of tyres that they've got tonight, they've got plenty of rubber, I think. So it's probably the right move is to be pitting around about now, around about lap 30, I would think, would be to do it.
So we will keep our eyes on what's going on, and we've got plenty of action going on. And Dave Douglas going through pit lane quite early as well, getting those fresh boots on. He's going to look at getting a bit of a run on the undercut at the moment, I imagine. We might see him gaining a few positions as Schultz, Hederscheid, Stent, Simon Hederscheid, Henderson, Raymond, Nankervis, Clark, Turner all come in, as well as Phelps.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure it was, but I saw one of the cars had a little spin there on pit road. It may have made contact with the wall. I'm not quite sure which truck that was. Ruben's in for his pit. Look, as you said, it'll be. It's about time. I said about 35 laps out of the tank, so he ran it dry as much as he could.
Well, you said a car had a little bit of a spin, and that was indeed Ruben Phelps. Looks like he locked up his rear tyres just getting into pit lane, and he just caught it in time, but that's going to cost him an enormous amount.
He'll be furious with himself if that was Ruben. He's better than that for sure.
So easy to do, though, of course. You know, as caution flag is out, we've got a caution.
That's going to make Ruben a bit happy, I think.
And it looks like it's Aiden Schultz has had a moment, and just indeed, contact between himself and Andrew Dyson. So we'll go to the replay now and see this one. So just see here, Aiden Schultz coming out of pit lane, pulls up right in front, and Andrew Dyson, the speed deficit there, just catches the back there.
Yeah, obviously he didn't know that Dyso was coming up there, their closing rate and everything. That's absolutely, he wasn't aware.
Caught him by surprise. So just see there, and it was just that little tap that's unsettled him, and that has brought out the caution flag.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. A great job by Dyson, even not to actually drive through him, just to get around him, even though obviously he still made a tiny bit of contact.
So this means Hamish Gallagher is now the leader of this race, but Ruben Phelps has been saved with that caution. You got to say that's that sort of came out right at the right time after that little mistake, and he is still in second. We've got Dylan O'Shea third, Daniel Hedderscheid fourth, and fifth is Adam Malone. A few drivers deciding to come in to get a little top up of fuel. Dyson, Douglas, Williams, Tompkins, Pearson, and Jai Schultz all deciding to pit in, get a little bit more fuel in the tank for the next run. Maybe change some tyres as well.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how much damage Dyso would have got out of that with Aiden Schultz, so he'll be looking to get any damage that he had done fixed.
Just looking back at Neil Pearson. It looks like Hamish Gallagher might have got a little bit of damage as well somewhere along the line, so we'll just see if we can pick that up and see what actually happened there. So yeah, quite a action-packed couple of laps, and exactly as I said, Brad, you know, caught the pit stops and pit lane is always when cautions can easily happen.
Yeah, I was just seeing if Hamish was in one of the rooms. I was going to drag him up and maybe ask him, Carl, what do you think?
Oh, we can absolutely do that.
Have you got a copy?
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good, mate. Doing well, Woody. I heard you questioning about a little bit of damage. Can you tell us what happened?
I sort of did a bad job in quality, sort of got myself buried back there and had probably, I think, used a few people up trying to get past. So I think I rubbed the right-hand side. I got about 12 seconds of damage, but Ruben didn't think it looked too bad, so hopefully it's going to be all right.
Yeah, thanks for coming up too. I just thought maybe you'd kiss the wall again like you did earlier today.
Oh, I might have done that as well, to be honest. I think I've got a little bit of scuff. The thing's pretty tight, but yeah, no, it was only 30 laps. You can do about 30 odd laps on fuel, so you got 4 sets of tyres, so it's basically quality laps every lap. So that should make this race quite exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Carl, got any questions while we're still under yellow?
Oh, I just thought I'd say hello to you, Hamish. Always nice to speak to you. Happy New Year, mate.
Daly, yep. I hope you're doing all right. How was your how's Christmas and New Year's gone well for you? I hope.
Oh, as well as can be. Looking forward to hopefully getting out on track at some stage. Back from behind the commentary booth, but until then, I'll leave you safe on the track and let you have those wins for now.
Cheers, mate. I hope this is. Hope we got a nice restart. I've got slightly old tyres and everyone, so I might be a bit of a cork in the bottle here, but yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Good luck for the rest of the race, Hamish.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Carl, Hamish will be feeling fairly lucky because I'm not out there either, so he'd be counting his blessings.
Bit of a wave around here. Looks like we've got a little bit of a wave around here for some of the cars.
So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I think he's showing it as the leader at the moment, but yeah.
Okay, we'll see what's happening because yeah, this is going to be an interesting. What's going? iRacing, iRacing is having a moment here, I think.
Absolutely, I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, so just going to extend the that caution for a couple of laps, and hopefully things will sort themselves out properly. So something's gone a little bit awry there. So we'll try and figure out what's going on.
Black flag as well, I think, Carl, for somebody.
Okay, so
Now Hamish is being told to get back behind the pace car, so obviously iRacing has erred in some way.
yeah, it's one of those moments where it's gone a little bit strange, which can happen sometimes. So we'll see how this one works itself out. I think a few drivers as well just getting sorted out, and we're just sorting some things out in the race as well. So do bear with us for the moment. These are the things that can happen sometimes. It always makes it interesting, but this is going to make for an interesting restart because we're going to have less than 50 laps to go. I wonder if we're going to see anybody duck into pit lane and try and top up on fuel just to go that little bit longer if they can. If pit lane's open, try and actually get a little bit more fuel to get a little bit longer in this stint so they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, well, as I said, Carl, I think, like I said, 35 laps, so that's 85, so they're still going to have to pit. So, but yeah, you'd be able to break it down into two smaller packets, maybe.
Exactly, and less fuel you have to take in the pit stop means get a little bit less time if there's a green flag pit stop as well. So could be an interesting little thing to do. Currently got a few cars a lap down. Jai Schultz, Mark Smith, Jake Stavington, Brett Campbell, Will Jesberg, Jason Marr, Corey Savage, all a couple of laps down. So a few drivers will be hoping we get a couple more cautions to get back on the lead lap, of course, getting the lucky dog. But it won't be too long until we see the pace truck pulling in, and we will get back to some green flag racing here for the Lucas Oil Truck Series.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure which of those drivers got caught a lap down, like when a caution came out, but obviously some of them did. So.
So it's going to change things up a little bit. Of course, a few drivers took advantage of the caution to get a little bit of top up, and a few drivers are going to be on fresh tyres, but we are going back to green flag racing. It is a single file restart.
Single file restart, Carl, right.
And the green is dropped, and it is Hamish Gallagher pulling away from Ruben Phelps. Dylan O'Shea up in third, fourth for Hedershide. Daniel Hedershide, and caution flag is out. We've got a big accident with Simon Hedershide caught up in it, as well as a DPR car. Was it Andrew Dyson? It was Andrew Dyson. Looks like Simon Hedershide's maybe had a little bit of a moment. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Simon. Sorry, it was Norman Clark. No. See who it was now. It was Noddy Tompkins. So just got caught by Neil Pearson and up and round and then into Dyson, and unfortunately catches somebody else as well on the inside. Looks like it was Will Jesberg, and the caution flag flies once more.
I'll tell you who will be happy about this. That would be Schultz, because he was black flagged, from iRacing on that previous one, which he didn't deserve. So he was just gone on the pit road as the caution flag came out.
It's nice when that happens. It's very rare that it happens.
Yes, well, it was unlucky to get the black flag to start with, and lucky that the caution came out immediately on the restart. So yeah, it's all worked out well for him, hopefully.
I think that's how I got my last top 5 finishes, because I got lucky with the old the old caution. Looks like Pearson might just dive down the inside there, and there just wasn't room on that inside, and it's just turned the SRM machine around.
Yeah, people keen to try and gain some early spots, and that can happen. That's what we say: caution, breach, cautions.
So I've got a few people taking advantage of this little caution to get a little bit more fuel, a few more tyres slapped onto the truck, and a little bit of damage repaired as well. Always good to do if you can do it. And, you know, a little bit of damage repair here and there can really help you out in the long stints of this race.
Yeah, a little bit help. I do for a start. Try and save fuel, shut the motor down on caution laps. As you said, you know, each little litre or gallon you don't have to add is a little bit of less time on the road.
Much so. So just looking through big gainers so far in this race, it's still Dave Douglas, one of the biggest movers in the race, but the biggest is Maddie Ray, up 19 spots in 10th position. Not unusual for Maddie Ray, and he'll be hoping for a good result tonight, sitting third in the championship, of course. He's joint third with a few other drivers. A little bit of damage on the rear of that truck, though. That's not Maddie Ray like.
So there is a little bit on that right rear quarter. Looks like someone might have got into him, but I don't think it'll affect it at all. A little bit of bend there in the rear spoiler, so it might be a little down on power or top end speed.
Somebody's had a little nibble of the 10 on the Mighty 10 sponsorship, it looks like, so that's okay. It'll be back to action soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, it could actually help him, Carl, if that's a little bit more up in the air. It'll give him a little bit more rig grip on such a short track, so it might actually help.
Good old tactical damage. That's always nice.
Matty had a great drive last week, as we saw, so you know, a good pick up tonight would be great for him. He'd be wrapped.
Will be, and just it looks like Andrew Dyson's coming down pit lane again just to get a few more repairs done. Quite a bit of damage on that truck, and you know, we know how fast Dyson can be, so he's going to be looking at getting back up there for sure, and he's going to want to try and get back into this race and, well, see what he can do.
Well, Dyson's been in the walls tonight early, so I think that'll be enough of that for him, he'll be saying.
Indeed, and it's always a tricky thing, getting those repairs done. You just want to try and get it done before the pace truck can come around, and has he made it? No, it's going to be tight. He's just made it. He has left it till the very last second there.
He did, so I think that's an indication of just how much damage he did have, Carl, that he left it so late. It was by a hair he got out of that.
Absolutely. The pace truck's lights have gone out, so we are going to go back to green flag racing here tonight, and well, it should be a fun one. Of course, the trucks are going to be roaring away, and it's going to be Hamish Gallagher versus Ruben Phelps on the front row.
Yeah, we'll watch the outside front row again here and just see how they go with the tyres on the restart.
And sort of up at this front pack, so Hamish is probably in a weak spot because he's been out there the longest, but most of these laps have been under caution, so probably not too much damage done to those tyres. The pace truck has pulled in, and we are about to go green flag racing here at Dover Speedway for the Lucas Oil trucks. Into the restart zone they go. Down goes the pedal of Hamish Gallagher. He gets a great restart there.
Yeah, he's starting a clean restart from everybody by the look of it.
Lean into the first corner. Looks like everybody's making it around this time, which is good news. And we are underway once more. Hamish Gallagher in the lead. Ruben Phelps down there in second. And a lot of action down behind as well as trucks are jostling for position on the restart.
Yep, there's lots of side by sides and doing it, but everyone's staying clean and keeping cool. Everybody in control. Looking good.
This is the time where you need to look at those little moves. When you've got the fresh tyres still, you can sort of make those moves a little bit easier, of course. Run that high line without too much worry and really put the foot down. But the issue is that everybody else has got fresh tyres too. Looking back through the field, and they are really pushing along nicely now. And some good little battles going on here.
He's a bit guy trying to wig his way back up in 19th moment. Trying to come back up through the field. There's some really good runs, and it's still only lap 51. So a long way to go.
Yeah, it's not over yet. There's still 39 laps in this race to go, and a lot can happen in 39 laps, as we know. Just a little bit further up, you can see it's Lachlan Upgo and Avon Schultz having a good little battle here, side by side, and they've got Neil Pearson just in behind them as well. So really pulling on a nice little show here. It's all contact between Schultz and Pearson. Schultz up into the wall, down into, I think that was Matty Ray. And that is caution number 3 of the night.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see the replay. What's happened there, Carl?
So we'll jump back and have a quick look at that one. Quite a few cars caught up in that as well. Unfortunately, one of the things with this track is not much room on the racetrack when a car is going sideways.
There's not a lot of room when the car's going sideways. Let's say it is really hard to regain control of the truck when you lose it. You can't on that cement with it's such a high, steep banking.
See Matty Ray here, we can see just gets pinged down into, goes around and around, and then a little bit of contact again with Neil Pearson, and then there was a secondary incident behind as well, catching out Noddy Tompkins, Stevie Dubb, Corey Savage, and Brett Campbell.
Yeah, a lot of drivers involved in that. You can quite see what kicked it off at the very original part.
So Aidan Schultz and Neil Pearson just making a little bit of contact with that one, and that's where we can't quite get the replay on that one, unfortunately, but it does mean everybody's down pit lane. Well, majority of people are down pit lane. Again, a few people deciding to stick it out, though. A few different strategies in pit lane as well. Some people just changing 2 tyres, some people changing 4 by the looks of it. Jake Saddington decided to stay out with Norman Clark, though, so 2 trucks deciding to keep it out there, and they've earned themselves a nice spot in the lead of this race. Daniel Hederscheid getting up a few positions as well, just taking the 2 tyre option with Toby Stent. They've moved up to 4th and 5th. Hamish Gallagher dropping down to 6th position in those pit stops. So interesting to see here. Norman Clark's decided he's going to pit now, deciding he didn't want to risk it on those slightly older tyres, but the looks of it. But Jake Saddington has decided he's going to stick it out and, well, be the effective leader of this race.
Yeah, he will. And I was just about to say, Carl, just before the caution came out, that Ruben and Hamish are actually pulling away from the field. But now that the caution's out, they've going to pit and get some fresh rubber, like we said. So it'll change his perspective immensely.
We've got James Nankervis down in 12th at the moment, but importantly still in the race and still in a relatively clean truck as well. A couple of little scratches on the old paint job of the shiny Charizard entry, but he is still going and the truck's looking pretty straight at the moment, so he is in a good position, but he's going to want to close up that gap to Ruben Phelps for sure.
He'll be starting to think about going forward soon. Absolutely.
So just looking through, and it's like Matty Ray's dropped a lap, unfortunately, because of that incident. Same as Stevie Dubb. Will Jesberg as well, one of his other drivers up in contention for the championship. It's down 2 laps now. So that has really changed things up in the championship standings.
Yeah, it's thrown a monkey into it, hasn't it? A wrench. What's going on out here? There's still a long way to go for the guys, though. Anything could happen.
Well, anything could happen, and it usually does. It's the old saying, and well, lots to expect here tonight. And well, anybody's race, you've got to say it's still so much can happen in a race like this. You do not know what's going to happen until that checkered flag flies.
That's for sure, Carl. Hopefully we've seen the end of the cautions for a little while. Like we say, cautions breed cautions, but I think we need to get back to some green flag racing. So the boys will be, the ones still out there will be, I think, giving each other a little bit more room at them next time.
Interesting thing now, we've got 34 laps remaining, Brad, and well, those guys that came down pit lane, a few people possibly coming down just to get a little top up. I'm thinking Norman Clark here. He came down a little bit later just to get a little bit more fuel in that truck. A little bit of saving here could possibly get you to the line without having to come in again.
Absolutely, Carl. Would be certain if I was towards the rear, I'd be topping up because I could get there. Absolutely. Nice fresh set of boots, top to take up, and off you go. If it stays green, you're in the driver's seat. Literally.
Pace car has come in and we're about to go green flag again. It's Santon in the lead, puts his foot down and gets away well on those slightly worn tyres. Only done 11 laps in the stint, but they'll still be a little bit worse for wear than the others behind him. Of course, we do have a single green-white checker in the box if needed, and if you're saving fuel trying to get to the end, you don't want to see that green-white checker, do you?
You certainly do not. You no way in the world you're going to have enough fuel to get to the green-white checker as well, which would be a shame.
You see now the difference between 11 lap old tyres and fresh tyres right now. This is going to be a painful couple of laps for Jake Samington.
Yes, he'll be hoping for something, a caution soon or something. He's led a lap, picked up a bonus point, so yeah.
It's a nice feeling to get that lap left though. It's always a nice little mark to have, but it's unless a caution comes out now, this could be a bit tricky for his race.
It's nothing worse than being out there on worn tyres, but they'll knock the edge off their tyres in about 5 or 6 laps. If he doesn't drop too far back too early, he'll be able to at least maintain a pace with them.
And up at the front, Ruben Phelps is battling with Hamish Gallagher, who's got back into the lead of this race. And now they got Daniel Hedershide to worry about as well. He's really working his way, looking to get underneath Ruben Phelps. Into turn 1 they go. He's got the inside line. Phelps is on the outside at the moment. Side-by-side action. As we get onto the back straight, it looks like Hedershide's got a little bit of better run off the corner and gets into second place.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got thicker tyres or there, but yep, he did well.
Well, there's a bit of a difference between tyres on a couple of these trucks because you've got Hamish Gallagher on 4 sets of fresh tyres, Hedershide and Phelps on 2 sets of fresh tyres. They only changed the rights by the looks of it. So is this starting to affect them, I wonder? And, well, is it sort of paying off now? Jake Santon's done a good job of staying up there. Oh, there's a wreck behind him! The caution flag is going to come out as Toby Stent has had a little bit of a moment with Lachlan Acquio, and around they go in front of the rest of the field. And it looks like most people got through without too much incident.
I think this was a fairly big one here. I think I saw a few cars going around, Carl.
There was a couple. I did see somebody catching Toby as well, just as he was going round. And it was indeed Troy Turner just catching Toby and then going into Mark Smith. And right in front of the championship leader, Jamie Nankervis as well. He just creeped through that and made it through scot-free. You just see there in the replay.
The drivers involved with that one, Carl.
Yeah, you can see there Jamie just braking in time and getting through that. I think it was Simon Hedershide got caught pretty heavily as well. So a few trucks in the wars, but I imagine we're going to see everybody coming into pit lane now to top up, because if it goes green from here, those guys that top up on fuel are going to be able to get to the end. Everybody else is going to be a bit stuck.
Yeah, like it was Jamie that nobody drilled him when he pulled up. I mean, he had to stop the way he did, but geez, he was lucky there wasn't too many people behind him.
Yeah, it was just that secondary impact that caught a few more. And you can see here on the replay, we'll see Lachlan Acquio and Toby Stent just making a little bit of contact in the mid-corner, I think it is. And this has worked out perfectly for Jake Samington. He's going to be able to get some fresh boots, a bit of fuel in the tank, and he'll probably have a fair few positions gained in this one. You'll see here Lachlan going down the inside and just washes up a little bit maybe, goes into the side of Toby, and around he goes. Holds the brakes nicely up at the top, but somebody catches him unfortunately, and that is the second part of the crash.
Yeah, it did look like he just pushed a little bit, like you said, off that corner up into him.
So, this is going to change the complexion of this race. So, people that have come in, looks like Dylan O'Shea's been through for a full service. Same as Jake Sandington. Adam Malone has come in for fuel only, same as Norman Clark. So they're going to be sitting relatively pretty. Lachlan Okio coming for a full service and repair. So quite a few trucks there have got damage as well. So this is going to be the other factor of the race is who's got damage, who's got a clean truck in this race, who can make it to the end. But with these caution laps, of course, it does extend the fuel stint a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'll find now that like your Normans and so forth, they will be able to go even with the single green-white checker, like you mentioned that we have, should we have it.
Dyson's car being resurrected slowly as these cautions come, but he's back in pit lane again, just getting those repairs done, same as the 80 there. These drivers just coming in, getting as much 100-mile-per-hour tape on the truck as possible and getting it to the end of this race. But it's important to do because there's quite a few drivers who are pretty much out of it now. You can pretty much earn yourself a top 20 without too much bother, or if you're sort of on the lead lap, you may even be able to get yourself a top 10 in this race if you've got a clean truck.
Absolutely, Carl. Dyson's truck is looking like it's been in a boxing ring. Its nose is busted so much.
It's gone about 20 rounds, I reckon, and it's lost every single one of them.
Absolutely.
So, we are going to be going back to green racing relatively soon, and it is Gallagher, Heathershide, Phelps, Pearson, Nan Curvis up into 5th position now. That is that's going to make him smile a little bit. We've got O'Shea in 6th, 7th for Sangton, Norman Clark 8th, Lachlan Okio 9th, and Mark Smith in 10th at the moment. But a few of those trucks are a little bit second-hand, so this could be a dash to the end. Can Gallagher and the rest of those trucks that have stayed out make it to the end with these caution flags, or are they really playing with fire with the fuel they've got?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what lap Hamish and Ribs pitted on, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
We've done 12 laps so far in this stint, so 24 remaining. It's quite a big ask, you got to say.
Yeah, it's possible if they were bathing under the caution. If they were shutting that motor down, it's possible they can get there.
That's it. So it's with these caution laps, it's probably made it much more possible than it was before. But they've also got slightly worn tyres now, and there's some hungry drivers behind them on fresh boots. As they come round to the restart zone, is Hamish Gallagher going to be leading away? Heathershide on the outside. Gallagher puts his foot down in the Ford and gets a nice leap over the rest. Looks like Ruben Phelps got a very nice restart as well. He's going down the inside of Heathershide, getting up there as well. And there is a whole gaggle of cars behind him, absolutely jostling for position.
Yeah, great start there from Hamish and Ruben. Both that inside line, again, the advantage is terrific off that start.
Yeah, that inside. So this second group is absolutely action-packed at the moment. Looks like Mark Smith's having to come in to serve a penalty, and same with Andrew Dyson. So that is painful for them as they come through pit lane. But this group up here now is really battling it out, and well, it's worked out very well for Jake Saddington. He's up 23 positions now. He's on some of the freshest tyres in the field. He's up behind Jamie Nankervis now, putting pressure on him, and he can definitely get to the end without any saving at all. So he could be in a really good position right now.
He'll have a huge grin on his face under that helmet, I can tell you. It's worked out perfectly for him at the moment.
A little bit of a risk staying out there under caution, and it has paid off in dividends. It's one of those things, gambling, it either pays off or it doesn't.
Yeah, well, he started 30th, Carl, so to lead a lap and be running now in 7th, it's a fantastic job he's doing.
Biggest gainer of the race as well, so, you know, it's doing a good job in this one, and keeping relatively clean as well. He was lucky with that accident, it just happened right behind him, so he sort of made it through that one, and, oh, was there a bit of a lock-up up front? Was that Jamie?
Not sure if that was Jamie brushing the wall there, or someone in front of Jamie. I saw some smoke.
Going back to have a little look at that now. And was indeed Jamie. Jamie just catching the wall there, rubbing the right panel off of the number 8, but he's still keeping going. And importantly for him, he is in 6th position as it stands, just a couple behind Ruben Phelps. So this is going to be, saving for some of the rounds of the championship now.
No one's saving here, Carl. Everyone will be going as fast as they can for sure. Those that can make it will be doing their best.
As the leaders have just caught up with a couple of lapped cars now as well, so dicing their way through traffic. And this is one of the things as well, is cars are pretty spread out even after these restarts because they've had to come down pit lane. Some are quite damaged, and that can really make for an interesting part of the race. 17 laps to go here for the Lucas Oil Weekend Warriors Truck Series, and it is Hamish Gallagher in the lead.
He's looking very comfortable out there at the moment, isn't he, Carl?
Oh, when doesn't Hamish look comfortable?
If you're one driver who doesn't want another caution from the position he's in, with the rubber he's got, the fuel, he'll be thinking, if this goes green, I'm home.
Well, say he doesn't want another caution. He's got to make there's 16 laps remaining, and he's done 20 so far in this stint. Oh, of course, a lot of them were under caution, but it might be a little bit tight on fuel, or maybe he just wants another one just to secure it so he can get home.
I think knowing Hamish, he will have saved enough, Carl, truly.
Oh, we're going to make it interesting for the audience.
I say that. Of course, if he runs out of fuel, I'll be looking like the goose.
As well, is always the way, you know. We are always contradicted in the commentary booth by drivers. They love to do that to us. I swear they listen just so they can prove us wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about, like today, as I said, racing with Hamish, I was shutting my motor down and he still managed to get more fuel out of the tank than I could, more laps out of the tank than I could. And I was doing everything within my power to save fuel, so he knows how to do it.
Yes, and just behind him is Ruben Phelps. This is going to be a nice run for him, a nice points haul as well. About almost a second off Hamish Gallagher now, but he's got a second gap over Neil Pearson behind him. Battling it out with Daniel Hedershide, Dylan O'Shea, who have got a little bit of a gap over Jake Sallington, Jamie Nankervis. So the top group is a little bit spread out, but still plenty of action to come here. 13 laps remaining as Daniel Hedershide just gets a big bite of the wall.
Was there much damage there, do you think, Carl?
I think luckily it was a bit of a glancing blow, so not too much hopefully, but still it does make you tense up a little bit on the old steering wheel, and you just have to reset yourself for another lap after that.
Yeah, we see Jake Saddington's got around Jamie Nankervis, the points leader, so yep, putting in a great show, as you said, tonight.
And it's just got past Daniel Hedershide as well, who, as I said, just had that big moment in the wall, and that cost him a lot of momentum and has dropped him back behind Jake and Jamie now.
Yeah, he might have damaged that truck. Jamie's all over the back of him now as well.
Yeah, it just takes a hit in the wrong angle sometimes to cause the old steering wheel to not work as well as it did earlier on in the race.
Yeah, that cement's pretty unforgiving, those cement walls on the outside. You know, they're not safer barriers, only in the corner of the safer barriers, so it's pretty easy to bend your steering arms and so forth on those trucks.
Exactly, especially when you're clattering them at over 200 kilometers per hour. There's a lot of force that goes into a little smack like that.
Yeah, normally when you're hitting it yourself, it's with that right-hand front corner, so it's pretty easy to, like I said, bend a steering arm or something. Well, Jamie has also just glanced off the wall.
Yeah, he's had a couple of little scrapes along the wall so far, and another one there as well. That was a bigger one, though. That has bounced him right down, and I reckon that would have been a fairly big jolt to everything there. That could have really hurt him, and that's helped Norman Clark, who's caught up to the back of Hedershide now and is looking to get past him. Down the inside goes the 09, and he's going to be looking at catching up to the number 8 as well. Norman Clark looking to put it past Jamie Nankervis. Norman Clark just catching the wall this time though.
They're taking turns. They must be scoring throws to see whose turn it is to glance off the wall, Carl.
You guys need to stop putting the commentator's curse out there.
Well, we've got one thing to do. It's putting curses on people. It's part of the job, okay?
The little Mark puts the camera on, glances off the wall. Perhaps they all are just glancing off the wall.
Well, it's a legitimate way of racing in NASCAR these days, so
We've seen that, haven't we?
up the front, it is Hamish Gallagher, almost 3 seconds now over Ruben Phelps, and but Hamish is putting a lot of speed in there still, and you know, it doesn't feel like it's somebody that's really concerned about fuel. Ruben Phelps just getting passed by Dylan O'Shea now. Dylan O'Shea moving his way up there. I wonder if Ruben's a little bit more tight on fuel than he wants to be, and it's just keeping that truck just slightly eased off.
Yeah, well, as you said, Hamish with that lead, he's obviously must feel he's fine on fuel, or he'd be driving a lot slower.
Got 4 and a bit laps remaining here tonight, so not far to go, and we'll see who's been saving, who hasn't, because yeah, they're getting into that crucial stage now. It's going to be touch and go, I imagine, for a couple of these trucks.
I'm getting nervous. I'm not even out there.
It's a tricky thing, and look, 3 seconds lead at the moment. Hamish is absolutely flying, but now Dylan O'Shea starting to put in some pace as well, catching up to Gallagher a little bit. Could Dylan O'Shea come out of nowhere and jump up there?
Well, he's got a lot to catch up in a little time to do it, Carl. So
yeah, O'Shea's not got anything to worry about on fuel. He came down pit road a little bit earlier than the rest, so he is absolutely secure to the end. He could well be in for taking a win here tonight if Hamish starts to splutter and cough, but doesn't look like it's going to be that way. We've got 2 laps remaining here.
yeah, great drive from all of the guys there at the front. Dylan's doing a terrific job. We're trying so hard to get up there, but it's nothing more frustrating on a track like this than when you just can see them and you're pulling the gap in, but you just don't have enough time left to do it.
Absolutely. As the white flag comes out, Hamish Gallagher coming around for his final lap now, and he is going to be looks like he is safe on fuel. He is absolutely confident. Just keeping an eye on some of the drivers behind, though, who's dropping back. But it is Hamish Gallagher, the 24 from Mitch Motorsport, that's going to take the win here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I think we did see Hamish just bounce off that wall a little too in that last lap, which we'll have to remind him of later.
Just giving it a little hip check. Dylan O'Shea comes home second. Ruben Phelps in third. Neil Pearson comes home fourth. Jake Saddington, great drive from him. 25 positions gained in fifth position. Norman Clark comes home sixth. Another solid top 10 for Normie. Jamie Nankervis comes home in seventh position. Daniel Hederscheid eighth. Adam Malone ninth. And Noddy Tompkins comes home in 10th.
Jake will be wrapped his finishing position down, the amount of places he picked up. Good on him.
Just looking back, it's Lachlan Acquio comes home 11th. Toby Stent 12th. Will Esberg in 13th. 14th for Mark Smith. Dyson in 15th. 16th for Maher. 17th for Turner. Matty Ray 18th. 19th for Henderson. Campbell in 20th. Tice 21st. 22nd for Hederscheid. Dave Douglas 23rd. Jai Schultz. Aidan Schultz 24th. 25th. Stevie Dubb in 26th. Corey Savage 27th. 28th for Bartlett. Jacobs 29th. And Ads Ariel in 30th. So what a run, and it looks like Hamish is not wanting to have that motor again as he desperately tries to blow it up.
Well, he certainly had enough fuel to still be doing his burnouts, so he wasn't even close, Carl.
He is absolutely going, look, I'll show you how much fuel I've got, as the car falls silent.
The official results just coming through now, Carl.
As we see, it was Hamish Gallagher with that win there, and Dylan O'Shea second, Ruben Phelps in third, Neil Pearson fourth, Saddington in fifth, Norman Clark in sixth position with Jamie Nankervis. Damage control for championship positions in seventh tonight. That's going to be a good finish for him for the championship wise. Daniel Hederscheid in eighth, ninth for Adam Malone, and Noddy Tompkins coming home in 10th position. And Lachlan Acquio in 11th with Toby Stent 12th, Will Esberg 13th, 14th for Mark Smith, Andrew Dyson in 15th position. 16th for Maher. Turner in 17th. 18th for Matty Ray. 19th for Henderson. Campbell in 20th. So we roll over the page. It's Adam Tice in 21st. Simon Hedershide 22nd. Dave Douglas 23rd. Jai Schultz 24th. Aidan Schultz in 25th. 26th for Stevie Dubb. Corey Savage in 27th. 28th for Bartlett. Jacobs 29th. And 30th for Ads Ariel. So we are done and dusted here tonight, and we're going to have a little bit of an interview with some of those drivers. We'll just wait for them to mosey on up to the booth. But we had quite a fun little race there. Nice long green period to the end, though, which is always nice to see, isn't it, Brad?
Yeah, it is. The type of track where you want to see green flag racing, 'cause it's an exciting track, side by side and everything. It's good. Just what you want to do. Nice, good long green runs. So that's great.
Absolutely. So just looking through, and we've got Ruben Phelps down in the green room. So we'll grab up our third place finisher now. And Brad, I'll let you take it away and have a bit of a chat to Ruben.
Sounds good, Carl. Ruben, congratulations, buddy. Great drive tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. It was good fun. It's nice to have pace and consistency. It just faded near the end because I changed 2 tyres on that last pit stop I did, so sort of lost the balance. But no, good result after overall.
Yeah, for sure, Rubes. We saw that you put it on the pole, so we knew you were fast, and we did mention about only taking 2 tyres in that last stop, so we knew what was going on with the pace, but brilliant drive, buddy, truly.
Yeah, no, it was definitely fun having a battle with Hamish, and there's a lot of drama happening in the back, so it was nice to actually be up the front just to keep away from all that. And that pit stop on the green flag run there was a bit of a close call there, but unfortunately had a little bit of iRacing issues with the timing and all that, but all good.
It won't do your championship points any harm either, too, Ruben, I believe.
Yeah, I think I should have a couple of points over Jamie, so we'll see how it all calculates. But either way, consistently starting to pay off at the moment, so keep rounding as many points as possible and see where I round out.
It's probably a bit silly question, but how did the truck field out there tonight?
Fast and great. Bloody fast.
Perfectly described. Carl, is there anything you'd like to say to Rubes?
Well, just touched on that pit stop. A little bit too much rear brake bias there, Ruben.
Yeah, it was definitely on the lower side tonight, but yeah, it was. I thought, okay, let's change 2 tyres because it will give the rear a little bit of a slide on the right, having them on the right side, but unfortunately the balancer sort of actually went on the tighter side by the end of that run, especially that last 15-20 laps. So, but all in all, still got a podium, so had a fast car. Obviously I got the pole and led a lot of laps, bonus points, clean race, so it's good to get all these, because that's actually what I've been failing on, is getting a lot of bonus points of the recent past. The results are good, but the bonus points I'm lacking in getting, so it's nice to get about, I think I got about 4 or 5 points tonight, so that's handy.
Nicely done indeed, Ruben. And before we let you go, the usual thing, shout out. I love to sponsors, teams, everybody you'd like to say hello to tonight.
But I got a shout out to SRM Australia for letting me be a part of their team. I think mechanical brake and repairs thing with Freddie May there, and of course you guys for putting on the broadcast. Nice to watch and all that. But we're all into 2023 now, so Happy New Year, and let's see how this season goes, because it's going to be a huge one.
Best of luck for the rest of the year, Rubens. Congratulations on tonight, and I'm sure we'll see you back in the booth sometime soon.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Well done, Rubes.
Next up, we will grab up Dylan O'Shea for DPR, coming in P2 tonight.
Yeah, Dylan O'Shea, have you got a copy?
Yeah, gotcha. Loud and clear.
Congratulations on the second place finish tonight. Fabulous.
Thank you very much. It was a very eventful race. A few of those cautions, but was able to be on the optimal strategy with the fresh tyres at the end and came home with the P2.
Yeah, you did. Those 4 tyres over Rubens 2 certainly made a difference, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I was able to just save a set of tyres, so I didn't have to save one set just in case we had a caution at the end there. So I was able to pit on lap 63 compared to Ruben's 2 on lap 53. So yeah, definitely made it easier for myself.
How did you find the truck handling tonight out there?
What was that?
How was the truck handling for you tonight out there?
Oh, honestly, it's been a very long time since I've raced ovals in these things, but yeah, I was hitting the wall a few times. It just kept pushing. So struggled with that a lot around here, but it was all right.
I think there's very few drivers out there that didn't hit the wall, Dylan.
Yeah, definitely seemed like a common occurrence.
Oh, have you got something for Dylan?
Oh, no, great run out there tonight, Dylan. It's nice to see you back and back up there as well. Before we let you go, we will do the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors and people you'd like to say hello to tonight.
Thank you to the team sponsors, Simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoist, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and MP Designs.
Thank you so much, Dylan. I'm sure we'll catch you back in the booth soon, and happy 2023 to you.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Dylan, well done.
Thank you.
Okay, and finally, we will grab up the race winner, the man in Midge Motorsport team, the one that won the race tonight, Mr. Hamish Gallagher. Hamish, welcome to the booth, mate.
Thank you, Carl.
Back again after a short time. Spoke to you already tonight, so back up here again. You obviously want to speak to us again.
Oh, yep, mate, that was the goal.
Brad, take it away.
Yeah, I don't. I was going to say I don't really. What happened there, Brad? Because I had old tyres and a bit of damage, but I'm guessing some other guys got a bit of damage as well because I was able to just Yeah, what happened? I don't know really what happened in that second half of the race.
Yeah, I think we had some different strategies on tyres. I think like Ruben last pit only took 2 right sides and things like that, Hamish. So yeah, Dylan moved up through. He took 4 tyres, so he was pretty good. So that was it.
Yeah. I saw one of the white trucks pit in that last caution, so I thought I'd have someone right on me, but I must have got caught in traffic. I don't know what the deal was with the 2 tyres though, because like we were real margin on fuel, so I figured you have to fill the whole thing up anyway. But I guess maybe speaking of that, probably a full stop was probably only like 8 seconds anyway. Yeah, not used to this short fuel tank stuff, so got caught out a little bit there. But I think 4 tyres was the way to go anyway.
Yeah, well, I did mention that you had some practice today in saving fuel, doing some laps. So yeah, well done. I was confident in you.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Yeah, we did a good job earlier. So yeah, you got a win. I got a win. So how good's that?
It's good stuff. Carl, what have you got for Hamish?
Chat about fuel. I mean, did you have a fairly hefty amount left in the tank at the end there?
I actually ran out of fuel doing that burnout before the engine blew up. So it wasn't because I thought it was marginal before we had that last caution. I was switching the thing off because it's going to be short, probably a lap or 2, and then we had that last caution. I just forgot about fuel. It was actually a bit closer than it should have been. So probably should have been paying a bit more attention.
Well, great run out there and a great victory tonight as well. And always nice to chat to you, Hamish. But the usual thing, shout out and love to sponsors and people and everybody in general.
Yep, just shout out to everyone who turned up. Big field, which is cool. Thought we'd get quite a few cautions. We ended up that happened eventually, but we had a really good run at the start of the race there, like 30 trucks doing 30 odd laps. It was cool. Bunch of names I haven't seen before, so a bunch of new people joining, which is also cool. So just big thank you to all the Weekend Warriors admin for putting the race on for us. So clearly, just only have a couple of weeks off, and people were dying to get back into it. So big thank you to the host and the race for us.
A great way to kick off 2023, getting a victory tonight. So congratulations tonight, Hamish, and I'm sure we'll catch you back in the booth relatively shortly, Tom.
I don't know if Dan's going to be too happy with me as Precious 24 on the truck, on a Tay truck.
That.
Yeah, someone stole my my number, so when I turned up, I just got given a random one. So that won't look too good in the screenshot. You might have to Photoshop something in, Mark. Yeah,
I'll have to see what I can do there, mate.
No, it's fine, mate. I was just joking. Yeah, it's all good.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Talladega next week, mate. You be up for that one?
Probably not. Maybe I'll join you boys in the com box instead. That should be good.
I can tell you who's going to win now.
Yeah.
All right. But
This super speedway races never go too well for me. I see that Matty Ray got a win last night, so I put all the money I had on that 83 truck getting up the front. It always seems to end up at the front of those super speedway tracks.
we'll hopefully see you next week, maybe in the commentary box, and maybe if you're up here, I can scooch down and actually drive for once. But thank you so much, Hamish. Always a pleasure, and we'll see you again soon.
Yep, no worries. See you guys.
Again, mate.
So, race is run. We are done tonight, but we have more coming up for you next week. As we said, Talladega next time out, boys. That is always a bit of a lottery, isn't it?
Absolutely. That was the idea of the coin toss. You know, anything can happen. Anyone can win with that, which is good. It gives the drivers who aren't as well known and don't get as much airtime still have a chance to win. So it's fantastic. I like it.
I think we'll have a full field for that race. So it could be interesting. A couple of these new boys have been blooded now, and a few of them may come to the race to the top. So let's hope we see some new names up and around.
No, absolutely. A big thank you to everybody joining us tonight as well. Just a reminder, just hit that subscribe button to catch all future races coming up, and the Cup Series as well will be coming shortly here on Checkered Flag e-streaming. But for the Truck Series, make sure to subscribe to catch every one of those on the Saturday night. But a big thank you to everybody for joining us, and of course to Miss Brad Allison for joining us up here in the commentary booth tonight. Brad, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carl, and thank you, Mark. I appreciate the invite. Hopefully I'll be there next week. If you want me back, I'm available. It's totally up to you guys.
Well, that's it. You've offered yourself now. There's no escaping the commentary box. We'll lock you in here on the way out. And a big thank you to Mr. Mark Johansson as well, doing all the work on the cameras. Thank you, Mark.
No worries. I was just going to say, Carl, we might have to get a ball and chain and chain it down to Talladega for next week, so he's only can go there next Saturday.
That's it. This is why we have locks on the outside of the doors, not the inside. But a big thank you to all. I'm, as ever, Carl Pluggerton with you, and wishing you all a good night, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.